Hello everybody, welcome to my YouTube channel Best IT Solution to all of you again. And today we will discuss some important Java interview question and answer series. Okay, so this is for fresher and experienced both those who are preparing for the interview. Fresher and experienced both can be prefer this video. So in this video we will discuss very important interview question answer which is mostly asking in the interview in Java interview. Okay, so I will try to prepare this part 1 and part 2 and part 3 around 100 or 150 questions I have prepared. So okay, so in this series around 30 questions I have discussed, 13 question answer. Okay, so this is the part 1 and this question is very important. Okay, so okay, so please like and share the video and please subscribe the channel by which I can make more and more video. Okay, so let's start. So our first question is, what is JWT contains? Okay, so JWT is JSON web token. Okay, so what it contains? So generally a JWT contains three parts. So that is header and the payload and the signature. Okay, so the JWT contains three parts, that is header, payload and signature. So what is header? The header consists of two parts, the type of the token and the algorithm. Okay, the header part consists of two parts, that is the type of the token and the algorithm that is used, such as HMSC SHA-256 or RSA SHA-256. So it is base 64 URL encoded to form the first part of the JWT. Okay, so the header contains the SHA-256 and the RSA-256, the type of the token and the algorithm, and it is base 64 URL encoded to form the first part of the JWT. And the second part is the payload. Okay, see, the payload contains the claims. So there is a set of registered claims, example issuer, expiration time, subject, and you can send audience. Okay, so these are the claims. So the payload contains the set of claims. These claims are not mandatory but recommended to provide a set of usable interoperable claims. Okay, these claims are not mandatory but it is recommended to provide a usable interoperable claims. The payload can also include extra attributes that define custom claims such as employee role. Typically, the subject claim is used to create the OpenID Connect user subject. However, the Liberty JVM server can be configured to use an alternative claims. The payload is also base 64 URL encoded. Okay, like the header part, the payload also the base 64 URL encoded. And the third part of the JWT is the signature. Okay, to create the signature part, the encoded header and encoded payload are signed by using the signature algorithm. Okay, so to create the signature part, the encoded header and encoded payload are signed by using the signature algorithm from the header. So this signature is used to verify that the issuer of JWT is who it says and to ensure that the message wasn't changed along the way. Okay, so the signature is used to verify that the issuer of JWT is who it says and to ensure that the message was not changed along the way. So our second question is, what are the stages of circuit breaker? Okay, so this is also very important question, mostly asked in the interview. Generally for a microservice based question this is. So what is circuit breaker? Okay, so there are three stages of circuit breaker. So closed state, open state and half open state. So closed state. So closed state we can say this is the initial state of circuit breaker. This is also called a default or proxy state. Okay, so the closed state is the initial state of circuit breaker. We can also say that this is the default or proxy state. In this state, communication between microservice properly done. This is successor okay state. Okay, so in this state the communication between the microservice properly done. Okay, and this is also called as the successor okay state. And the open state, once the circuit breaker move to the open state, it will completely block the communication. Okay, so once the circuit breaker move to the open state, it will completely block the communications between the microservices. And half open state is limited number of transaction allowed in half open state. So limited number of transaction will be allowed once move from open to half open state. If the transaction success, it go to the close, or if the transaction failure, it is again go to the open state. That means it will not allow to the further more communication. What is indexing and how to create index in database? Okay, so this is actually database related questions, but mostly asking in the Java interview also. What is indexing and how to create index in database? Okay, so indexes are used to retrieve data from the database. Okay, so generally the indexes are used to retrieve the data from the database more quickly than the other. Okay, so by the help of indexes, this is the we can retrieve the data from the database more quickly. Users cannot see the indexes. Okay, so the user cannot see the indexes. This is the virtual number, we can say. They are just used to speed up the searches or queries. Okay, so the indexes are just used to speed up the searches or queries. So there are 4 types of indexes. We can say primary index, secondary index, clustering index, and multi-valued index. Okay, so there are 4 types of indexes: primary, secondary, clustering, and multi-valued index. So then how to create index? Okay, so syntax to create index is create index, index name and table name, column 1, column 2, column 3. So the syntax is like create index and index name. We can give a name to the index and table name. Okay, and to which column we are implementing the indexes. So column 1, column 2, that column name should be mentioned here. So multiple column name also we can mention here. We can also create this unique index, like create unique index, index name and table name and column name, column 1, column 2, okay, multiple column we can mention. So duplicate values are not allowed here. So if we will create the unique index, that their duplicate values are not allowed. And if we want to delete the index, we can also use in this command like drop index, index name on table name. Okay, so drop index, index name on table name. So what is selector in DB? How to create selector? Okay, so this is also database related questions, but asked in Java interview also. So what is selector in DB? So the object selector is an SQL statement. So this is generally SQL statement that is used to retrieve object from the database. Okay. So the object selector is an SQL statement that is used to retrieve object from the database. Okay. So it must be a valid SQL statement for the runtime RDBMS. Okay. So the object selector is an SQL statement that is used to retrieve object from the database. It is must be a valid SQL statement for the runtime RDBMS. It must return at least the ID of the object that is undergoing a state transaction. Okay, so it must return at least ID of the object, that is undergoing the state transition. So SQL selector functions are designed to work with time series data. Okay, so the SQL selector functions are designed to work with the time series data. So they behave similarly to aggregate functions. Okay, the selectors are behave similarly to aggregate functions is that they take a collection of data and return a single value. Okay, like aggregate function, it takes a collections of data and return a single value. Now, however, a selector are unique in that they return a struct that contains the time value in addition to the computed value. Okay. So however the selectors are unique that they are return a struct that contains time value in addition to the computed value. So now how we can create the selector? So creating a selector with select function. Okay, so select fast, temp, time as time. Okay, so select fast, temp, time, value as temp. So room from home, group by room. So in this way we can create the selector also. Okay. So another most important questions for Java, that is what is stereotype annotation. Okay, so what is stereotype annotations in Spring Boot? So it is a special type of annotation that can be used to mark classes as having a particular role or purpose within the application. Okay, so the stereotype annotations are we can say it is a special type of annotation that can be used to mark a classes as having a particular role or purpose within the application. Stereotype annotations are typically used to simplify the configuration of Spring components by providing a set of default values and behaviors that are common to a particular role. Okay. So these are the stereotype annotations are typically used to simplify the configurations of Spring components. So to configure the Spring components or beans by providing a set of default values and behaviors that are common to a particular role. So examples are like @component and the @controller, @service, @repository. So these are all the stereotype annotations. Okay, so these are the stereotype meta annotations. So next question is, so difference between length variable and length method in Java. Okay, so there are two things. One is length variable or length keyword we can say, and another is the length method or function in Java. Okay. So the key difference between the Java's length variable and length method is that Java length variable is describe the size of an array. Okay, so the length variable describe the size of an array, while the length method tells the number of characters in a string. Okay, the length method tells the number of characters present in a string. So length variable describe the size of an array, while the length method tells the number of characters in a string. What is JCA in Java? So JCA means Java Cryptographic Architecture. So what is JCA? So this question is mostly asking for to experienced people. Okay, so what is JCA? So JCA provides a set of API and architecture for digital signatures. Okay, so JCA provides a set of APIs and architecture for digital signatures, message digests, certificates and message digest certificate and certificate validation. Okay, so digital signatures, message digest certificate and certificate validation, encryption and secure random number generation. So developer use JCA to integrate security into the application code. Okay, so generally developer use JCA to integrate the security into the application code. Okay, so it is also helps in implementing third-party security rules and regulations. Okay, so it also helps in implementing the third-party security rules and regulations. So this is JCA generally used means it is for a security, is to secure the applications for security reasons only. What is type interface? So there is interface that is type interface. Okay, so type interface help the compiler determine the argument types. Okay, the type interface help the compiler to determine the argument types by looking at each method invocation and corresponding declaration. So by looking at each method invocation and corresponding declaration. So most commonly used functional interface in Java library. Okay, so most commonly used functional interfaces in Java are function, consumer, supplier, predicate, by function, binary operator, unary operator. Okay, so these are the mostly commonly used functional interface. Functional interface means there are only single method inside this interface. We can use lambda expression for that. Okay, so only single abstract method inside in these interfaces. So question number 10, what is JJS in Java 8? So JJS means JavaScript. So to work with the Notion script engine, JDK 8 includes a new command line tool called JJS. Okay, so to work with the JJS, to work with the Notion script engine, Java 8 includes a new command line tool called as JJS, JavaScript. This command is located in JDK home bin directory. Okay, so this command is located in the JDK home bin directory. So basically it is used to execute the JavaScript code. So basically this JJS it is used to execute the JavaScript code. What is Notion? Advantages of Notion. So Notion is a new JavaScript processing engine. So Notion is a new JavaScript processing engine launched in Java 8. Okay, so Notion is a new JavaScript processing engine which is launched in Java 8. Previously Java used Mozilla Reno. Okay, so previously Java used Mozilla Reno. Notion provides better compliance with ECMA normalized JavaScript specifications and provides faster runtime performance than its predecessor. Okay, so previously Java used Mozilla Reno. Now Java it launched Notion JavaScript engine. So Notion provides better compliance with ECMA normalized JavaScript specification and provides faster runtime performance than the previous versions, previous Mozilla Reno. What is stream pipelining? What are the intermediate and terminal operations are there? So stream pipelining is the process of chaining different operations together. Okay, so the stream pipelining is the process of chaining different operations together. Pipelining accomplishes this by dividing stream operations in two categories. Okay, so the pipeline accomplishes by dividing the stream operations in two categories. One is the intermediate operations, another one is called the terminal operations. Okay, so different intermediate operations are interchained to each other, and finally on terminal operations get the output. So there are number of intermediate operations can be used, but only one terminal operations. When each intermediate operation runs, it returns an instance of the stream. So when each intermediate operation runs, it returns an instance of the stream. Thus, the user can set up an arbitrary number of intermediate operations to process data. Okay, so the users can set up an arbitrary number of intermediate operations to process data, and thereby forming a processing pipeline. Okay, and thereby forming a processing pipeline. At the end of the process, there must be a terminal operation. Okay, so at the end of the pipeline, there must be a terminal operations to return a final value and terminate the pipeline. To return the final value, and it will terminate the pipeline. So intermediate operations are like map, filter, distinct, sorted, limit, skip. So these are the intermediate operations. We can interlink one after another. We can change these operations. But terminal operations are for each, to array, reduce, collect, main, max, count, any match, all match, non-match. Okay, find any. So these are the terminal operations. How to print 10 random numbers using for each. So like this is the code snippet. We can use random equal to new random. We can create the object of the random. Then random.inits.limit 10 random with the help of this random object, random.inits.limit 10 dot for each system.out.println. Okay. So this will print the 10 random numbers using the for each. How to get highest and lowest number in a list? Okay, so to get the highest and lowest number, we can use, suppose this is the list of integer numbers arrays.as list. Okay, so there is a int summary statistics. Okay, so with the help of this int summary statistics, we can create the object of its state equal to numbers.stream. Now we can use in this way int summary state equal to numbers.stream dot map to int dot summary statistics. Okay, now we can get the state of data in object state or start object, then states dot get max and to states dot get min to get the maximum and minimum value. Okay, so the main thing is the int summary statistics. So the summary statistics. What is split iterator? Okay, so the term is blend of splittable and iterator. Okay, and is new features in Java 8. So the term is blend of splittable and iterator and is a new feature of Java 8. So it is used in Stream API to iterate streams. So it is used in Stream API to iterate streams in a parallel or sequential order by internal iteration. Okay, so it is used in Stream API to iterate streams in a parallel or sequential order by internal iteration. So difference between predicate and function. So although they are both functional interfaces, predicate is a single argument function that return either true or false. Okay. So the predicate is a single argument function which is return either true or false. But function is also a single argument function, but it return an object instead. Okay. So predicate it is singular argument function, it returns true or false, but function is also singular argument function, but it returns an object instead of a true or false, it returns an object. Here T represents the type of the function input and R denotes the type of the result. So difference between find fast and find any, as its name of the method suggests. So find fast returns the first element meeting the criterion, while find any returns any element meeting the standard features. That is very helpful while we working with the parallel stream. Okay. So find fast return the first element and find any return the any element meeting the criteria. What is scheduling? How to use scheduling in Spring Boot? Okay, so what is scheduling and how to use scheduling in Spring Boot? So in Java, a scheduler is a tool that allows you to execute tasks or jobs at a specific time or after a specific time interval. Okay, so scheduler is a tool that allows you to execute tasks or jobs at a specific time or after a specific time interval. So this is useful for tasks such as sending emails. So this is useful for tasks such as sending emails, create recurring automated reports, batch import files from XML or JSON, or performing any other type of automated task. Okay, so any type of automated task can be executed with the help of this scheduling. So how to use? So as scheduling is a part of the basic Spring core, no need to add any extra dependency. Just annotate the main class with @enable scheduling and annotate that the job schedule method with the @schedule fixed rate 2000L or schedule fixed delay 2000L. Or we can also use like initial delay also we can mention, and we can also use in this a fixed delay string equal to pt2s. Okay, so period, time and seconds. Okay, also you can use cron schedule cron. It take the day, time, month, date, year, all these parameters it will take. So cron is what is cron? See, the cron is most suitable for scheduling repetitive tasks like every Monday or every month first day. Okay, so long period we can mention in cron like period, day, time, hour, minute, second, etc. Okay. So the cron is mostly suitable for scheduling repetitive tasks like every Monday or every month first day. So long period we can mention in cron like period, day, time, hour, minute, second, etc. Okay. So the by default scheduler is running in a single thread. So by default scheduler is running in a single thread. If there are more than one scheduler should wait to complete the job of another scheduler. For running the multiple scheduler parallelly, we need to make multi-threading. We need to add properties in application.properties file, that is spring.task.scheduling.pool.size equal to some value. Okay. So spring.task.scheduling.pool.size equal to 10 here we have mentioned. That means 10 threads will be created, and all now 10 thread will create and scheduler can run parallelly on multiple threads. What is reflection and why it is useful? So the reflection is used to describe code which is able to inspect other code in the same system. Okay, so the reflection is used to describe code which is able to inspect other code in the same system and or itself and to make modifications at runtime. Okay, so also we can make the modification at runtime. So Java reflection is a process of examining and modifying the runtime behavior of a class at runtime. The java.lang.class provides many methods So the java.lang.class provides many methods that can be used to get metadata, examine and change the runtime behavior of a class. Okay, to get the metadata, examine and change the runtime behavior of a class. The java.lang and java.lang.reflect package provide classes for Java reflection. Through reflection, we can create the object and also can access the private data members of a class. Okay, so through reflection, we can create the object. So with the help of the reflection, we can create the object and also can access the private data members of a class. So get name, get class, get method are used to reflection. These are the methods of class. So next question is, how do I convert or read an input stream into a string format? So simply there is a like IOUtils. With the help of this IOUtils class, we can call the method IOUtils.toString and we can pass that input stream and encoding. Okay, so it will Java is always passed by value, not support the pass by reference. What is failfast and failsafe? So generally failfast system abort operation as fast as possible, exposing failures immediately and stopping the whole operation. Okay, the failfast system abort the operation as fast as possible, exposing the failures immediately and stopping the whole operation. Okay, the in failfast system it will stopping the whole operation. As soon as the failure occurs, it will abort the operations. Whereas fail-safe system do not abort the operation in case of a failure. In such system, try to avoid raising failure as much as possible. Okay, so in this case, it will try to avoid the raising failures as much as possible. Fail-fast iterator throw a concurrent modification exception, while fail-safe iterator never throw such an exception. Okay, so in case of failure, fail-fast iterator throw a concurrent modification exception, while fail-safe method never throws such an exception. What is the volatile keyword useful for? So the volatile keyword in Java is used to indicate that a variable's value may be modified multiple threads simultaneously. So the volatile keyword in Java is used to indicate that a volatile variable value may be modified multiple threads at a time or simultaneously. So it ensures that the variable is always read from and written to the memory. So it ensures that the variable's value always read from the memory and every time it return to the memory rather than from the thread specific caches. So rather than from thread specific caches, it should be read from return to the memory, ensuring visibility across threads. Okay, it ensuring visibility across the threads. What is coupling in Java? So the coupling is nothing but the dependency of one class on the other. So the coupling is basically dependency of one class on the other. So if one object in a code uses the other object in the program, it is called as loose coupling in Java. So if one object in a code uses the other object in the program, it is called the loose coupling in Java. There are also tight coupling also there. Okay. What is double brace initialization in Java? So the double brace initialization is a technique to create and initialize an object within a single expression. Okay, so the double brace initialization is a technique to create and initialize an object within a single expression. So suppose this is array list of integer list 1 new array list. So now directly we can initialize the variable like with the double brace add1, add2, add3 and we can close the double brace. Okay, so in this way we can directly initialize the array list during the creation of the list only. What is RMI in Java? So RMI means remote method invocation. So the RMI is an API. The RMI is an API that provides a mechanism to create distributed application in Java. So the RMI is an API. The RMI is an API that provides a mechanism to create distributed application in Java. The RMI allows an object to invoke methods on an object running in another JVM. The RMI remote invocation allows an object to invoke methods on an object running in another JVM. So the RM provides remote communication. The RMI provides remote communication between the application using two objects, that is stop and skeleton. So the stop is an object, acts as a gateway for the client side. The stop is an object, acts as an gateway for the client side, and the skeleton is an object. Skeleton is an object acts as an gateway for the server side object. So all the outgoing requests are routed through the stop, and all the incoming requests are routed through the skeleton. So all the outgoing requests are routed through the stop, and all the incoming requests are routed through the skeletons. So difference between serial and parallel garbage collector. Okay, so parallel garbage collector also we can say throughput garbage collector. So the difference between serial and parallel. So as its name suggests, in the main difference is serial garbage collector has single thread, and parallel garbage collector has the multiple threads. That makes it speed up the garbage collection. So the main difference is the serial collector has the single thread, and parallel garbage collector has the multiple threads. That makes it speed up the garbage collection process. So difference between concern and cross-cutting concern in Spring AOP. So the Spring AOP, this is the important module of Spring framework, that is aspect oriented programming. Okay. So what is cross-cutting concern in aspect oriented programming? So the concern is the behavior to have in a particular module of an application. Okay, the concern is the behavior to have in a particular module of an application, not the whole application. So concern is the behavior to a particular module of an application. It can be defined as a functionality we want to implement in a module. So it can be also defined as a functionality we want to implement in a particular module. But the cross-cutting concern is a concern which is applicable throughout the applications. So the cross-cutting concern is a concern which is applicable throughout the application. This affects the entire application. Okay, the cross-cutting concern affects the entire applications, but the concern only affects the particular module only. When finally block will not execute. Okay, so generally there are exceptions or not, no matter, finally block will be compulsory execute. If error is there or no error is there, not a matter. But when there is a situation, finally block will not execute. So if system.exit 0 is called, at that case also finally block not execute. If an exception is thrown all the way up to JVM and default behavior occurs, that is print stack trace and exit. So if the JVM exits while the try or catch code is being executed, sorry. So if the JVM exits, so when the try or catch code is executing, at that time if the JVM exits, in that case also finally block will not be executed. So difference between soft reference and weak reference in Java. Okay, so soft references are similar to weak references, except that they are only garbage collected when the JVM has an extreme shortage of memory. In the other hand, weak references are immediately available for garbage collection. So the weak references are immediately available for garbage collection, but soft references are only garbage collected when the JVM has an extreme shortage of the memory. Otherwise, it will not go for the garbage collections like weak reference. What the wrong or problem with double brush initialization in Java? Okay, so double brush initialization means during the creation of the list we can initialize the variable value. So it creates an extra class every time when we use it. So what is the drawback? So drawback, it creates an extra class every time when we use it. Does not support the diamond operator in features of Java 7. Okay, so diamond operator does not support. Doesn't work if the class we are trying to extend it is as mark as final. Okay, so it does not, double brush initialization does not support if the class we are trying to extend mark as final. And another important thing is holds a hidden reference to the enclosing instance which may cause memory leak. Okay, so in double burst initialization it holds a hidden reference, it holds a hidden instance or object to enclosing the instances which may cause the memory leak. Okay, so unnecessary memory are occupied by the double burst initialization. Okay, what is called as memory leak. Okay, this is an important drawback of the double burst initialization. Okay. So the end, so this much in this video tutorial. Okay, so thank you guys, and if you have any doubt you can ask in the comment section. Okay, and if you think that you have got some idea or you have some benefited from this video tutorial, please like and share the video with your friends, and please subscribe the channel. Okay, by which I can make more and more video. So this is the part 1, and I will try to make part 2 and part 3 also of this question answer series, interview question answer series. Okay, so thank you guys.